Game 1 between the Boston Bruins and Toronto Maple Leafs officially starts tonight, and we have some final updates here to bring you ahead of tonight's game. Some things that we now know could happen, will happen, and everything in between. So, before we get into all of this really important news here, we noticed that 81% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Boston Bruins news, you're in the right spot. Make sure to hit the sub button. Join me along here in this playoff run, and hopefully a lovely series here against the Toronto Maple Leafs. But like I said, let's get straight into this first topic here, which is a very big one. This is a major Leafs injury. Now, this one is not long-term, but this one is definitely an important one for tonight's game. And that is one we mentioned in last video, William Nylander. Chris Johnson put this out earlier, said it remains to be seen if William Nylander will be able to get himself in a spot physically where he can suit up for game 1 in Boston tonight. This isn't an issue. He was playing through down the stretch. He woke up Thursday in some discomfort. So, the good thing is that William Nylander is not hurt. That's one thing that I will always say here. You don't want to see anybody hurt. But the Boston Bruins really need to take advantage of this. This is one thing that we really need to capitalize on, is the absence of William Nylander. He's been one of their best offensive players this season, as well as playoff performers in the past few years. So having him out of this lineup really gives a big advantage to this Boston Bruins team to hopefully swing the offensive momentum in their direction, in their favor, while the Leafs have one of their top offensive talents out. But once again, the Bruins really need to take advantage of this. This is one thing that we had kind of assumed whenever the Leafs were missing something, or whenever the Leafs were down somebody, that the Bruins really need to capitalize on this due to the Maple Leafs offense being as good as it is, being as offensively talented as they are, as strong as they are, and that is really their number one part of their game, is their offense. So if we can suppress their offense and we put on our own against their, I wouldn't say bad defense, but definitely a weaker side defense and a weaker side goalie, this is going to be the key that the Bruins need to go to. This is going to be exactly what the Bruins need. It's going to be what they want to do in this series. But Sheldon Keefe also reiterated this earlier today, saying that he refuses to answer whether Nylander will play, which, to me, if you're trying to be a bit sneaky, if you're trying to be a bit, cautious of what you want to say and what not to say, I don't think I would say that. If he was hinting at William Nylander playing, you would go, signs are pointing to it, it looks like he may, but it's not a 100%, but he really didn't say anything. I'm not sure if Sheldon Keefe is trying to play mind games like Jim Montgomery and Don Sweeney have been with our starting goalie here tonight, which we still don't know yet, and I won't say we know until, I'd say, about an hour or two before game time, so unless he's trying to play mind games or something, which really don't work against the Boston Bruins. The Maple Leafs are usually the victim of the mind games here, and especially against the Boston Bruins, but this still is pointing to me that William Nylander will not suit up for game 1, which, I'll say it again. The Bruins need to take advantage of this suppressed offense from the Maple Leafs. Now, they still have Austin Matthews, William Nylander, John Tavares, some incredible talent there on the offensive side, and that's not going to be an easy task to get them to stop, but it's definitely easier with William Nylander out of this lineup here tonight. But we have another little bit of a nice Bruins part of here, instead of focusing on the Maple Leafs. And this comes from Michael Sullivan, talking about what we're going to see as extras for this series, but mainly for tonight. He goes, while this Spoon's the extra defenseman, JVR is the extra forward, and those wondering, and honestly shouldn't come to as a surprise, no sign of Justin Brazeau just yet. But I do have a few concerns about this. Now, I think it's okay to see for game 1, try some things out. Shattenkirk is now on the left side. Him and Andrew Peeke, both right-handed defensemen, going to be on that third line. But Shattenkirk's going to be manning the power play. Maroon is in for JVR. One that is going to be, I'm going to say, is going to be game for game with those two. Who plays, who don't, just depending on how each of them play, if they do both play a game. But I would like to see Wotherspoon in this lineup. Now, I know he's a rookie. I know that he's not a playoff experienced guy just yet, but this is going to be a big series. I'm going to say everybody needs to step up in. And Matt Grzelcyk is really, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't want to say anything yet, because the game hasn't even started. He could come out here and be the best player on the ice, but he's still got my concern just a bit, so I'm gonna hold off my thoughts on the changes for the roster until after the game, which video may be tonight. You may see me tonight, you may see me tomorrow morning, but odds are it will be another video tonight after tonight's game. But you know, it's going to be a very big one. I'm not going to say too much on the Bruins lines, the Maple Leafs lines, until we actually see game one, and then we can start kind of, mixing and matching, judging what's going to happen here and going into game two. But we have one final topic here for today, just kind of a good way to finish it off before the playoffs officially start for the Bruins. And this is going to be their key to success over this whole, series, but mainly playoffs as well. And this really comes here from The Athletic. This one is just kind of a breakdown of how players feel about playing in TD Gardens. And this one comes from a lot of former Maple Leafs players who have spoken out about what it's like to play in TD Garden. He says, what remains constant for the fact that Boston is guaranteed 4 games in the black and gold bedlam if this is the best of 7 and it goes the distance. The Leafs won some big games here during those prior playoff series, but when they lost, they really lost. These scores of those games are 4-1, 5-1, 7-3, 7-4, 4-1, 5-1, and 5-4 on the infamous night in 2013 when they became the first team in NHL history to squander a 3-goal lead in the third period of a Game 7 and lost in overtime. So we know that home ice advantage for the Bruins is really going to be the thing that this team is going to ride on. And many, many people around the NHL, current, past, present, past and present, past and current, or present and current are the same thing, but it's going to be a real big part of this series for the Bruins. The crowd in this arena is absolutely insane during the playoffs, and we know that. Every other team knows that as well. And this article had a bunch of former Leafs discussing what it's like to play there, and to me, I don't really know if I would get some former Leafs players to really discuss how bad it is to play here for an opposing team. That kind of might just get in your head a bit more, but for us, it's perfect. I wouldn't really put that into a Leafs standpoint, but this is going to be really what the Bruins need. This is going to be their key to success, is this crowd getting them going. The Bruins have always riled up the fans, and the fans have always riled up the Bruins and getting in the heads of the opponents, and it's just going to be a perfect match to see here, especially against the Toronto Maple Leafs in this series. So I'm very excited to see what this is going to look like tonight, game-wise, arena-wise, everything. It's going to be a very important game to dictate what's going to happen for the rest of the series. But I just want to show this as well here. This is from The Athletic, from that same article that I had a minute ago. This kind of shows the staff from The Athletic who are picking the Boston to win. 67% picked Boston to win. Now, I'm not going to say anything about the odds. I'm still feeling a bit nervous. I don't know. I'm really nervous for these games. It makes sense that Boston might be the favorite here with William Nylander out and whatnot, but this is going to be a really close series, regardless of what happens, and I'm very excited to see what happens. So, meet me here tomorrow for the analysis on the game, what we're going to look at, and maybe even tonight here for a post-game reaction, breakdown, and whatnot. But, like I said, that's all I got here in this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to give the video a like, hit the sub button as well. If you do want to stay up to date with all of this Boston Bruins news throughout this very, very fun playoffs, and, that's it. That's all I got here. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.